Okay, so I'm sure everyone is using Office 365. Maybe it's Outlook, maybe it's Teams, maybe it's SharePoint, maybe it's calendar of Office 365 only. 90% of the audience is using this particular Office 365 tool for their corporate purposes and for other purposes as well. So this video is very much important for you because latestly we have received malware where it's called as the HollowGraph malware, which hides into command and control and steal files from your computer, from your OneDrive, or from your mail, or any type of information. So this is very much important for you. I'm gonna let you know that what is it actually. Okay. So this particular malware was detected by Group IB, which is a company. It is an IT company only. So they detected it, and I will give you a brief summary about it. I will let you know in easy language because in this particular article, it's very much what we say difficult, like it's in a complex manner. They have explained it in a complex manner, but I will explain you in a very much easier way that what actually is. So researchers at Group IB have identified a new malware family named HollowGraph. So it's a new malware family and they've named it as a HollowGraph. And these are the people of researchers of Group IB company. So they are the person who have identified this particular malware. So what it actually does is it abuses Microsoft 365 calendar. Microsoft 365 calendar, from where you book your meetings, book your schedules and everything, and Microsoft Graph API. So I'm sure you know about the calendar thing. You booked your meetings and joined meetings and schedules and everything. And if you are not aware about what is Microsoft Graph API, so in Microsoft Graph API, all the products which are linked from our Office 365, all the products which are linked to Microsoft is called as a graph API because they are the graph. For example, OneDrive, Outlook, Team, SharePoint, Calendar, everything. Let me show you. I've opened a separate image for this. Yeah, so this is called the Microsoft Graph API because we have Microsoft Teams, we have Microsoft Files in the SharePoint only. We can book meetings, we have Messenger, Outlook, and we have Insight, we have chats for the teams. So this all collectively is called as the Microsoft Graph API. Okay, so this particular malware is affecting Microsoft 365 calendar and graph as well, and also the calendar also comes into the graph only. So we can simply say Microsoft Graph API if we remove this as well. Okay, so what this particular malware is doing, it abuses Microsoft 365 calendar and graph API as a covert command and control channel. So what is covert command and control channel? C2. If you're from a security background, you must know that what is C2. But for the other audience who does not know what is command and control, in command and control C2 channel, what this particular channel does, it is connected to the attacker. And then, as per the request from the attacker, as the attacker requests to this particular malware, this command and control is responsible to receive the inputs from attacker and it sends the data to the attacker. So in this manner, the data is being exfiltrated. Suppose I will let you know in the coming section. Okay. So instead of communicating with the attacker command and control infrastructure, the malware uses a compromised Microsoft 365 mailbox to receive commands. Okay. So in in a normal command and control, the malware connects with the attacker and attacker instructs that particular malware. But in this particular case, Microsoft 365 mailbox is the channel through which the attacker is receiving all the data and exploiting all your important data. Okay, to receive command and exfiltrate the stolen data. See, so exfiltrate the stolen data, the same thing, making the traffic appear as legitimate Microsoft cloud activity. Since this particular malware is sitting inside the Microsoft 365, so our traditional what we say, the Sentinel platform or all the SIM platform, it or the Defender, they are not identifying as a malware because this particular thing is using Microsoft as a channel only, and Microsoft is a legitimate tool, so it does not like identify normal. And how does it work? I'll let you know how does it work. Let me mention it here. Okay, so what happens? Attacker compromise a Microsoft 365 account. Okay, so the very first thing which is important for this attack to be executed, that particular account or like the Outlook account should be compromised already. The attacker can execute this malware, this holograph malware, once they have the access to someone's account. If they do not have access to anyone's account, they could not like execute this malware. Okay, so it is important that you keep your passwords updated, change your passwords at regular interval, and make sure that your account is MFA satisfied. Okay, so attacker compromise a Microsoft 365 account and deploy a .NET based malware implant named HollowGraph. Okay, so suppose my Outlook account is compromised, then attacker will gain access to my account. Suppose they have done brute force and my account is not MFA enabled. So they will just do the brute force. They will get my credential. They will get into my account and they will implant this .NET based malware, which is known as the holograph, into my account only. Okay. And how it executes is the malware communicates through the victim's own Microsoft 365 calendar using Microsoft Graph API. So the malware communicates to the victim own Microsoft 365 calendar. Okay, with the help of same graph API which I have mentioned here, which I've shown here, this particular thing. Okay, then commands are hidden inside calendar events scheduled in the year 2050, reducing the likelihood of discovery by users or administrator. Okay, so I'm sure 99% or in fact I should say 100% of you does not check your calendar after 10 years or after the 20 years. So what, and these particular attackers are taking advantage of this particular thing only. So what they are doing is they are creating and scheduling an event in the date of 2050, like 2023 years future, because no one is checking their calendar after 5 years, after 10 years, or the 20 years, because they are not expecting any event there. So they are creating an event there and saving the event in 2050 year. And since it is acting like a legitimate Microsoft event, so the defender or a SIM tool is not detecting it. And then the exfiltrated files are encrypted and uploaded as attachment to the calendar events instead of being sent to the external account control service. That's pretty much easy. Communications are protected using this encryption. These are some very strong encryptions, making content inspection very much difficult, because these are some really strong encryption keys. Okay, so because all the traffic is routed through Microsoft legitimate infrastructure, which I was saying earlier, because since it is using Microsoft as a platform, so it seems like a legitimate one. Traditional network based detection may fail to identify the activity. Exactly. Okay. So what could be the potential impacts if this attack is executed? We are here. Okay. So the potential impacts are unauthorized data exfiltration. This is very much like understood. There, like data exfiltration will there. Theft of sensitive corporate information, all your confidential data or your invoices or your client agreements, infrastructure document, HLD, LLD, and everything is compromised. Long-term persistent with Microsoft 365 environment. Once it's inside the system, then since you does not know, you are not aware about it, then it will affect in long term way, because they are using the time period of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Then the evasion of traditional security control that focus on malicious domain IP addresses, suspicious outbound traffic. Exactly. Potential use and target cyber espionage campaign researchers observed victims primarily in Israeli organization and noted similarities with activity previously associated with Iranian linked tooling. Although attribution remains inclusive. Okay, this is some Iranian based thing impact. Okay, but this is also important. So now we comes to the end part of this video, that what are the recommendations? Like if you are affected with this, then what you should do. Okay, so I will mention those points as well. The recommendations from my side would be you should enforce the multi-factor authentication for all users. Like if you are in an organizations and they are users under you, so you should make sure that all your employees, all your teammates should enable multi-factor authentication. Okay. So if at all the attacker gets your password, they may not be able to log in without the help of OTP or allowing it from the mobile. Okay. Then disable legacy authentication protocols. Okay, this is for the organization again. So what do we mean by legacy authentication protocol. So legacy authentication protocol are the old method which Microsoft or Office 365 use to check the authentication of particular user. Okay, like they were using simply the MFA, or they were not using MFA, they were using only just the password or the OTP thing. But there are now different modern methods with the help of which we can check what are the other factors of authentication for the user to check if this is the genuine user trying to log in or not. Okay. Then it comes to review and remove unused OAuth applications and service principles. Okay, so OAuth is the same thing. It is related to the Graph API only. Like you must know, like you must already have an idea. If you log into your Microsoft 365, like in any one application, suppose you have logged into Outlook, then you are automatically logged into the Teams as well. You are automatically logged into the SharePoint as well, on the OneDrive as well. So this thing is called the OAuth application. Okay, so if it is of no use, then you should remove that particular thing. Then apply the conditional access policy to restrict sign-in, risky sign-ins. Okay, okay. So I think you already know about the conditional access policy. Conditional access policy is like we can say a behavioral thing. Like suppose I am logging from India and I am using some particular IP. So from 6 months I am logging from India, but suddenly on the seventh month, the system throws an alert that my account is being logged in from some XYZ country. So that is something that conditional access policies are made for. That it will block the sign-in attempt because it's not the regular uh, scenario. Okay. And same applies for the IP addresses as well. Suppose I'm using particular kind of IP addresses for whole complete year, but another year or one fine day I am logging to some different IP address or some malicious IP address, so it will block my login. That is called a conditional access policy. Okay. Then the last point is educate the user on phishing and credential theft technique. All the major organizations are doing this particular thing. They what we call it as cyber security awareness training. So all of you guys must go through the cyber security awareness training because that is very important and you can be secure, like cyber secure. Okay. So yeah, that was all for this particular attack, and I will come with all the latest news around the globe regarding cybersecurity. So hit that bell icon and like.